Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another daily cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you like PC, and let's get right into the information today. One take and uncut. So to kick things off, guys, shared by Alex Beatty here. This is why I've said goodbye to Tron TRX, Litecoin, Ethereum. And anyways, that's not the point. I just wanted to show you this right here, this picture, as we can see the founders of these organizations. So we see Justin, son of Tron, we see Charlie Lee of Litecoin, of course, and we even saw the tweets of him manipulating the market before he sold his bags, telling everybody to hold. And again, he was selling his bags. You can see his wallet address. You can see everything going in terms of the amounts and the timestamps, you name it, just within, the actual blocks. We have Vitalik Buterin. I'm not sure, actually. I know, Vitalik or, Buterin. I've heard various pronunciations. But anyways, guys, a lot of founders, a lot of groups do sell and take profit, don't get me wrong. And perhaps they knew it was a bubble at the time. They understood that the technology was not there in a practical use case. But remember, everybody's giving Ripple, the company, a hard time for selling, but they are not dumping on the market. We know what they're doing. They've been nothing but transparent. They've been sending billions and millions of funds, whether it's through the Spring Initiative of $500 million investments right there to spread through gaming with Forte, to go with the music industry, with, Coil. We have so much going on and a true ecosystem and foundation being built. So as you can see, Tron, he sold $6 billion with a B for $300 million. Charlie Lee of Litecoin, $200 million profit, and then Vitalik, $100 million profit. What did they do with those funds? Did they use this to reinvest into their organization? I'd like to think so, but I know that Litecoin is literally selling t-shirts to stay afloat. Will it be a successful project? I have no idea. It could see some upside. Why not? A lot of these cryptocurrencies, at least, in the top projects that have been around, they are following an algorithm. They are following a pattern, and we are due for, it's not unrealistic to see, several X returns in the future for any of these projects. But it's also possible for, Tron or, some other coin that is not actually being built upon and having true utility in solving a real problem to go to zero. Now, I don't necessarily believe Tron could do that, but you never know, and you have to hedge your bet and be safe. I think Ethereum will be a very, very successful project as we're going to proof of stake. I think that it is being integrated day in and day out. But anyways, I'm rambling. You get the gist. Maybe I'll make some other videos on other cryptocurrencies, but let's get back to Ripple and XRP. Right here, Mickey B. Fresh, and this is a good point, guys. I want everybody to keep this in mind. The XRP community needs to keep in mind that these statements and predictions from Ripple executives are not directed towards the XRP community. They are directed towards global financial institutions, PSPs, which are payment service providers, and then FX, foreign exchange market makers, banks, and institutional investors. Bold predictions nonetheless. And basically just wanted to preface that because that's so well said. And again, this is Marcus Treacher, we have Brad Garlinghouse, we have Ethan Beard, we have various people, Ashish Birla of Ripple, making some bold predictions for 2020. I know a bunch of people have done a lot of videos on this already, but I'm going to go through it, and I just want to, give you my take and kind of read a little bit as well. So right here, love for cryptos playing devil's advocate. Always appreciated. 2018, they said one major bank to use XRP. Okay, well, at least we have MoneyGram, but they're not using it at the scale I want to even influence the price. We are talking 10% of the Mexican corridor, $100 million. Like, that is, nothing. And that is not going to move the price, but I am happy that it is testing and showing an ROI. They are excited to ramp up, but they're waiting for that liquidity to build, and then the flywheel effect will take place, and that is what's going to be most powerful. 2019, they say they predicted dozens of banks to use XRP. I mean, they're using it, but not at the scale I want. When are they really going to ramp up so we can potentially see that price move? And then in 2020, half of the top 20 banks to hold and trade XRP. So now these banks will custody digital assets. Now, David Schwartz has said that the idea for XRP to truly moon, we're talking 3 digits, if not higher, at least double digits. He basically said that banks, corporates, market makers, they'll get their attention and they'll catch the trend of it solving utility and appreciating as an asset, and they will stockpile and hoard these assets on their books instead of holding a bunch of pre-funded Nostro Vostro accounts. So that is the idea. That is what we want, but that will not happen until these banks actually scale up the usage of XRP as well. We need higher volume. We need higher payments. All of this will at least equate with a higher price of XRP, making all of that the equation to make XRP more liquid. All right, let's go over this. So XRP Crypto Wolf did share this. Brad Garlinghouse even bolder, predicting that half of the top 20 banks in the world will actively hold and trade XRP in 2020. And he is also one of the many at the team that believes fiat currencies will go digital. And Brad Garlinghouse actually does say in this article shared by Ripple, and this is on December 19th, that he says that he expects at least one actual national fiat currency to go completely digital this year. Guys, that validates our entire investment. We want all of these countries to go digital so we can bridge that asset and be the interoperability protocol. All right, so really quick, let me scan through this and see a few points. All right, and guys, keep in mind, I take it with a grain of salt from Ripple. They are conservative. They're talking to bankers. They're talking to boring people. And I'm sorry if you're a banker listening to this, but let's be real. I don't really get excited about a savings account. I get excited about growing my money. So right here, SVP of Product, Ashish Burla, talking about predicting mobile wallets will enter the blockchain and crypto industries in a big way, believes adoption of digital assets and blockchain technology among mobile wallets and super apps like Gojek, Grab, and PayPal will become more mainstream as they look to expand their services to keep up with customer demand and compete with digital banks. Keep an eye on Southeast Asia, guys. Also, adoption will continue expanding. New credit and loan products. Remember that he was originally talking about micro lending with XRP. That is awesome, guys. That is huge. I know that we've had various people at Ripple talking about this and actually the utility of hard to reach places where they just need to get a micro loan of $10 instantaneously. And it can be all automated, and there can be, trust lines. There's so much and so many benefits that come with this. Next, we have SVP of Customer Success, Marcus Treacher. Now, I've listened to hours and hours of this gentleman talk, even from, years ago. And what was he? He was in the industry for decades. I believe he was, what group? I forget, but it was a big financial institution. I don't know if it was Swift or another bank. I'll have to double check. But anyways, he sees international and micropayments expanding to facilitate the new customers. Big surprise. And then he envisions purchase solutions for tourists and travelers that no longer rely on cards or card rails taking root in 2020. Taking root. All right. And then imagine if a Japanese tourist visiting Thailand could buy goods using a mobile app or QR code. Guys, if any of you watch the TV show, Mr. Robot, go watch it. It is on Amazon Prime Video. It will definitely get you thinking regarding that, especially when there is a collapse. They're using QR codes. The government actually initiates a cryptocurrency. People are running to the streets for Bitcoin because they are arguing that it's less centralized. It's a really, really interesting type of thing that would happen, granted, the geopolitical turmoil that we see today. All right, Marcus also predicts the big tech companies will continue to enter the payment space. And again, payment, guys, IOV, Internet of Value. It is simply a matter of time. People can smell the money and the infrastructure and the huge investments being put into the space. And Ripple has XRP at the forefront of solving the payments problem. That is the primary use case, whether it's 24/7, 365 e-commerce, whether it is cross-border, even domestic payment flows, which banks are already doing for, creating their own walled gardens. All of these are removing friction. So it is simply a matter of time, guys. If you cannot see these trends, I don't know what to tell you. And if you cannot see an investment go this negative, then I don't think that you should be this early as an investor or even be investing your money to begin with, because this is not for everybody. It is psychologically demanding. But when you stick to the fundamentals and understand what you are invested in, you will be strong enough to hold on. Now, institutional adoption, this is where I wanted to cover. So we have Brianne Madigan, head of global institutional markets. This will be enabled by trusted custody brands such as the State Street or Bank of New York. We've heard State Street talk about this. Custodying digital assets is going to be huge. Speaking of custody, keep an eye on PolySign. It is still hush hush. Nobody really understands what is coming with that, but I believe it will be very, very big for huge digital assets in a secure manner. And once custody is legit and all organized, then we can expect these banks and corporations to hold and stockpile digital assets. And it is my hope, I cannot guarantee this, it is my hope that they begin to hoard more XRP and hold that on their order books instead, because that would actually help them as well, especially as an appreciating asset. Get rid of capital costs, reduce, all of these pre-funded accounts around the globe. You get it. And right here, one of the many that believes fiat currencies will go digital in the next year. And this is Brad Garlinghouse, one of the many on Ripple. And then SVP of Spring, not X Spring, it's Spring, Ethan Beard expects at least one central bank one central bank, guys, to launch a tokenized representation of their fiat in 2020. And again, Brad forecasts at least one non-G20 currency like the Argentine peso. And I've been in Argentina. I was there for a long, long time. And even just witnessing the inflation rates while I was there, I think I was, 4 months, 6 months, and it was insane, guys. Everyone thinks it would be cheaper to go to Latin America rather than, the United States, but not in these countries. All right. Crypto index. Let me see. Ashish Burla. Beyond. Okay. Well, anyways, I covered what I wanted to with this article, guys. Interesting tidbits. It's like a 6-minute read, so highly recommend you always just check out insights. And you can literally search on Ripple's website and just go through everything. You can even learn and get some resources for the XRP ledger. But at the end of the day, guys, you can speculate as much as you want. You can quantify anything. We are in it, and we have to simply just sit on our hands and watch and contribute any way you can. But at the end of the day, this isn't for retail people. This isn't for you and I. We are just providing that organic liquidity, and we are lucky enough to be able to ride the wave, because this is one of the first times in human history in terms of transfers of wealth that this is creating an open architecture for everybody to be involved in. Yet they are not, welcoming everybody, and they're priming the masses. XRP has been on the news. It's been on CNN. It's been on Fox. It's been all over this year, but they're keeping it hush hush and, kind of keep making it a joke and laughing about how it's valued at 10 billion and acting like it's not a true behemoth, but it absolutely is. It is one of the largest private companies in Silicon Valley, private startups that has ever came to be in the history of private startups. That should be a sign, guys. This payments problem is going to put everything else like a joke. Social media companies, this thing that is handling world payments will service all of those companies. So it could potentially be the sum of all these groups. I just don't think people realize the trillions of dollars that we could potentially get into this market cap. And market cap is still not something I want to use to measure XRP. I'm waiting for a better liquidity index. There's so much ahead, guys. And if you do not see it, that's fine. Don't invest and simply watch, because I am betting a huge portion that XRP will be one of the top projects to succeed, dating back from 2012. Keep that in mind. All right, right here, Status, just sharing this cool quote, JP Morgan right here. So Decrypting Cryptocurrencies in 2018 by JP Morgan. Here's this quote. And it says, "We believe Ripple's creation has the potential to create competitive disruption for an existing service, cross-border payments between banks via SWIFT." Absolutely, SWIFT is so poor, they can't even compete. They use a correspondent banking partner. It's so inefficient. There's so many systemic risks and so many clunky points of, there's points of failure, obviously, because it's highly centralized, but there's so many middlemen and intermediaries they have to go to. And this is where these fees are so incurred. You have no idea when payments are sent. And keep in mind, guys, I'm repeating myself for any newcomers that come on this channel. And I apologize, but I need to spread this information so people understand the investment and opportunity that lays in front of us while we are sitting at sub 20 cents. Even if we go lower for another 6 months, I do not care. I'm looking long term. I've been nothing but transparent since I've started this channel and talking about time frames, and I'm conservative. I expect the worst, I should say, I'm ready for anything. I prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that is the truth. If I see something bad and I believe that XRP is going to fail, I will sell. I'm going to tell everybody to sell. Honestly, but I just see no reason. The only thing that is down in all of the XRP ecosystem is the price. Everything else is up. Wait for reality and perception to meet again. Right now, they're at very, very different levels. Perception of XRP is low and the reality is very high. Just like a stock market finding equilibrium. This is how markets move. Same concept, so I'm waiting for that. And again, Ripple's disruption can no longer be ignored. They're on the news more and more, getting a lot of press attention. We are seeing CBDCs being generated. I've never been more excited to be an investment. But yeah, the price gets to me. Honestly, I'm bored with it going down. I'm kind of like, come on, I'm getting impatient. I'm a human just like you guys. I want to make a boatload of money from one of these investments. And I believe XRP will be, it's right now at least 80%, 90% of my portfolio. And yeah, I'm over invested because I believe in that. And that's not financial advice. So if you guys can own a little bit, even $20 worth, and just hold it for a few years, do it. Non-financial advice, just my opinion. Again, I am some guy on YouTube. All right, we're going to finish off with this. Michael Val links. And in a recent report, Kuwait finance house KFH has recently hinted about its success in cross-border payment services over the year. It said it accrued over 100 million transactions using RippleNet, not just on-demand liquidity using XRP, just using RippleNet, which is the software product of Ripple as a whole, and some other payment solutions to foster its services. Now, I read this article earlier, but basically, you get the gist, guys. There's more use cases. They're talking about the benefits of all of this. They're talking about joining Ripple, using blockchain, using atomic swapping technology. Everything's going digital. It further validates the investment. And keep in mind, XRP and ILP are the secret sauce. We are waiting and waiting and waiting. Sometimes I don't even feel like making videos because I feel like I'm just regurgitating the same information. But do not be fooled. There's a lot of developments, and we have to see this is all over the world. This is in Kuwait right now. We see things going on with Mojaloop. We see things with other, banks. We see things with other FIs. We see mobile wallets. We're able to bridge all of these ledgers with interledger protocol. There's just so much going on in the music space, and I'm just referencing Spring here. We're talking about Coil, micropayments, now lending, syndicated loans, R3. We just have to keep that in mind. And another good point, I'll probably repeat this in another video, but I saw Darren Moore. He said something like, Corda Settler of R3 has the option to use XRP. Finastra, 9,000 plus customers, has complete access to on-demand liquidity whenever they want. That's all I need to know as an investor. No brainer. And again, another lady, I believe, on Twitter said, don't wait to buy XRP. Buy XRP and then wait. Just spoke to me. If anybody stuck around this long, wow, you guys are a true supporter of the channel, and I really, really appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like button, share this video around if you like what you see, and I will see you in the next video.